AI, Python, there are so many software, SPSS, Jamovi, SAS, and there are so many types of ERP. So why we need this? Because for the data analysis part. And this total, after collecting the data, it is divided into basically for the four part. One is the descriptive part, one is the diagnostic part, one is the predictive part, and another is the prescriptive part. Because, and today, when the next speaker will discuss, so he will tell elaborately, starting from the descriptive, then summarization of the data, visualization of the data, and also the diagnostic of the data and the prediction of the data, and finally the prescriptive of the data. And finally, mainly the Power BI basically depending on the two things. One is the main thing, the visualization of the data set and the query optimization. Because Power BI, why Power BI is so strong nowadays? Because its backend is very strong. The backend is working, SQL server is working, different types of, Python is working. That's why Power BI is so strong. And it is easy to understand for any kind of industry people. So I am telling you, I have give some idea about Power BI, not in detail. Important.
Sir, you got muted.
Sir, you are again on mute.
Now
It's clear, audible.
Audible.
screen is, my
Audible,
screen
sir?
is not a screen.
Yes, it's visible. Visual.
Okay. So
Screen is visible.
screen is visible. Actually, now the world of data now is changing, and mainly we are in the era of the big data. And for the the Power BI mainly the business intelligence, and it is the software text makes the reporting easier and more visually appealing. That part already I discussed, and the platform is really awesome for creating the interactive dashboard. That part next speaker will discuss in detail. So this is the main thing of the world of data now is changing. And
You are muted again.
You got muted again, sir. Somebody is muting. Sir,
somebody is muting most probably. Okay.
yes, sir, you're audible.
I am audible, but my screen is not moving. I don't know why.
Sir, what I think there is some network drop issue at your end, so that's why sometimes you are getting a muted or the screen get freezes out.
Okay. Actually, that's why I am muted. I am off from my visual mode. So only I am now. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Network issue is going on from the morning actually from my end.
If some packet drop is there, then either your video or this audio get freezes out.
Okay. Just I'm trying. Okay, let me start from the beginning of sharing. Just a minute. It is visible now.
Yes.
sir. Visible. Yes, sir.
But my slide is not moving. I don't know why.
Sir, you verbally explain that.
Okay, verbally I am explaining. Just a minute. Verbally I am explaining. You don't mind. Don't mind. Just a minute, only for my satisfaction level.
You may stop your video, sir.
Okay, one thing I can do. No problem. Okay, okay. I'm verbally explaining. So Actually, before starting this, if we maximum we are, very frequently user of the Excel sheet, and we have to know, if we know Excel very well, then you can understand easily Power BI. Because in case of Excel, or through Excel, we can analyze the data. And there are 4 parts of Excel. You have to discover first, easily discover, and access. We can access the public and corporate data. And after discovering or accessing public and corporate data, then we go for analyze. And analyze, there are different tools of analyzation. And then we go for visualization. And finally go for explore. So this is we can do for Excel. But, and when we go for Excel, and we can build a different types of model and analyze hundreds of millions of rows of data. Okay, that we can do for with the Excel sheet. And in case of database management system, there are so many database we can collect. Suppose if we think about some industry, there are from some raw material, then purchase data set, there's a selling data set. There are different functional area of the industry, some marketing functions, finance function, personal HR, OB functions, system function. So different types of functional area we can collect the data, and then explore this data set with the interactive visualization. And there are different types of visualization in case of interactive data. We start from the box plot, bar chart, pie chart. So there are different types of visualization of the categorical data. There are different types of visualization of the scale data, better to say non-categorical data. And when you start our Power BI, so we have to understand what is the analysis or visualization of the univariate data set, what is the analysis or visualization of the bivariate data set, and what is the analysis and visualization of the multivariate data set, which is very, very important. So that's why it is called exploring your data with the interactive visualization. And then we have to uncover the new insight with the 3D, different types of 3D analysis that also we can solve using the Power BI. And now, when we come into the from Excel to Power BI, so there is a collaboration with the Excel with the power of the cloud. Okay, and then we collaborate in the Power BI for the Office 365 1 to 4 interface enterprise customers on the Office 365. We can so when we already know that analyze in Excel the billion of Office users, discover, analyze. Already I told you that is the visualize. But through the collaboration, we can share, we can different question answer session. There are different types of mobility, scalability, manageability, and trusted. Okay. So then, and we know the Power BI, the different components and versions. There are components are Power Query is there, Power Pivot is there, Power View is there, Power Map is there, and Power Question Answer there. And day by day, the versions of Power BI is changing. The Power BI is building the desktop, Power BI Desktop, Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, and each version of Power BI differs in its pricing and functionalities and features. And so what is the main features of Power BI and Excel, and what is the difference is that there are different duplicate tables. That is, in case of Excel, it can show duplicate tables, but in case of Power BI, does not show the duplicate tables. Applications, they cannot connect to the data model. But in case of Power BI, ideal for the dashboard, KPI, and visualization. Reports are normal and ordinary. But here, in case of Power BI, the beautiful branded reports can be generated. The cross-filtering does not support the cross-filtering, but in case of Power BI, allows advanced features in cross-filtering between the charts. Dashboard requirements does not allow refreshment of dashboard. Here, refresh data in Power BI. Analytics offer very simple analytics, but in case of Power BI, high level of analytics can be done. data model focused on mainly structured data models. But in case of Power BI, offer really focused and complex data models. Dataset capable of handling limited dataset. That is very, very important in case of Excel. But in case of Power BI, capable of handling the large dataset. So these are the why we have to go for using Power BI. This is the difference between Excel and Power BI. And thank you because my time is limited, to all of you for giving me the chance. Okay. If you have any question, so you can ask me, we can interact.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody has any questions? Audience, please. I think no
Okay.
questions are there. So, Professor Bandyopadhyay,
Yeah.
so thank you very much. So we will be forwarding to our Power BI session in which we will
Yes.
be
Thank you.
describing, showing the
Yeah, now this is the very basic session I have taken only for 10 to 15 minutes. So now we have two hands-on session and they will show by one how we take a data set from data set, how we apply the different types of dashboard and DAX environment, data analytic expression environment, and how we go for the different types of query optimization. So definitely we should.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Sumona,
Thank you, sir.
And if you allow me, can I leave now? Because
yes. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you.
Sumona, now we can convert to Mr. Vishwajit. And yeah, you can start now.
Okay, Vishwajit is present. Vishwajit is present.
Yes.
Okay, Vishwajit, GB sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome to the session. Please, sir, you are muted.
Okay, Vishwajit.
Sir, it's my pleasure that you are here. Still, I'm
Okay,
trying
thank you,
to do
Vishwajit.
something.
So I hope I don't mind today. I'm not present. I'll not be able to present for your session. So I hope that you will run the session nicely. Thank you, Vishwajit. Okay.
Thanks for your blessing, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Because sir, please start the session.
Okay.
Please
You
start.
start the
Okay.
session.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Sumona, before you start, I think we should share the slide from your side, and after that, hand over to Vishnu, sir.
Okay.
Sumona, please start. Hello. Sumona, you are muted.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Sumona, we
Hello,
can hear you.
Yes. Vishnu sir, please welcome to the session. Please start and continue the session. Hello, Vishnu sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Please start the session and continue.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
And
Good afternoon, sir.
in this, yes, good afternoon. And in this session, already in this slide, you got my little introduction. So without wasting any further time, let's jump into the full topic, because today we are going to do some exciting session regarding Power Platform, which will consist of all the component of Power Platform. And not only that, we will go through details of the platform regarding things. We'll do the hands-on experience. In addition, we will do the entire research process. How should an organization do the research process to identify its business objective and business related question to solve? So all these things we are going to do in this session, and we have divided the session into few phases. Phase one will be hands-on experience, as well as that research process and the report, making some exciting report. I would like to show you something, some report like this is not very fancy, but we are going to make this kind of report. Just a minute. Let me to share the screen first.
Click at Teams. Click at Teams. Click at this and click here to share
Just a
screen.
this one.
Now,
Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So we are going to make some dashboard, like this kind of dashboard we are going to frame in this session, along with other. In the phase two, we are going to discuss why an organization is still interested but unable to implement this Power Platform in their organization. And in session 3, we will have some question answer session if time permits, and how this organization can support to implement this all in any particular organization. We can discuss all these things also in this session. So let's start without wasting time. Okay, now so we are starting the Power Platform. Now, what is Power Platform? Just a minute. This is the start. Okay. So Power Platform is AI powered low coded platform. Means in every platform we need, just a minute. Okay. So in Microsoft Power Platform, it is AI powered driven system. In other platform, we need lots of code, means lots of talent to pull to write codes to deploy any kind of application in the system or in the organization. But that's why to make the organization free from this extra burden of employees or other talented, that organization can do the work at a low code level. That's why the Microsoft Power Platform has introduced this kind of application. So these platform has some components like Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and many other things. Now, what is Power BI? Power BI is for business analytics. Means any kinds of business data we have, we can analyze the data based on some research question and research objectives, and to solve or to find out the answer of these questions, we can develop some dashboard, which I have already shown you. And the most important thing is not developing this dashboard is the only goal. The goal is to share this report to our end user so that end user can relate to the business and business can achieve its objectives, right? So these things can be done with this Power BI platform. And not only that, the data security is very important. That can be achieved in Power BI. And now in Power Apps generally for any small organization, medium organization, or for the large organization also, there are some internal operations they have. So for those internal operations, people do manual process. But instead of doing that manual process, if we introduce Power Apps, that will be really helpful for the organization to get the data, and that can be a real-time basis and take the decision on real-time basis. And similarly, that Power Automate. Few processes we do in our daily life in business, like emailing to the customer, emailing to the end user, or some other purpose. Email is one example. For other purpose are also are there. So in those cases, we deploy people to do that particular basic works. So Power Automate help us to do that manual work repeatedly by through system. So Power Automate help us to do that. Now in some organization, some web portal are there. Now through web portal, in present day, what happens that people do interaction through virtual agents, because customer can have some queries, customer can have some doubt, customer can have some issues. So all these things can be solved through virtual agents. Now that setting up that virtual agents in some other platform, that is costly, but Power Platform giving us that facility to make it integrated in our web portal also. That's why that Power Platform introduced two things simultaneously. One is Power Pages. This Power Pages works as web portal, and this Power Virtual Agents work as a online, you can say, agent to pull data or inquiry from the customer end to understand what the customer is facing the issue. Now, all these things, in any application, there is some data backend. So in Power Platform, they have something called Dataverse, which consists the entire data system. And now that database is there in the Dataverse. It's fine. But there should be some data. But every time it is not possible to pull data into Dataverse. That's why around the world, people are using multiple diverse kind of system or platform. The Power Platform has introduced data connectors to connect all these data sources to pull data into the Dataverse and do the application for Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Web, Power Pages, as well as Power Virtual Agents. So you can say it's an integrated platform where everything is there. If anybody wants to start this business or the operation from tomorrow onwards, or if any client has some requirement, they can do instantly within next 1 hour. That's the business platform. And the most very exciting thing is that AI Builder. Means earlier we had to develop an application. It was generally taking, say, minimum 15 to 1 month or much longer time. But with this AI Builder, within a fraction of 10 or 15 seconds, you can build an application just with a single phrase of word. Like in our daily life, we are writing some English phrase, make an app for me. Like this kind of statement will develop the app for you. This is the AI Builder. So moving on to the next, that how Power Platform works. That in the center, this is a Dataverse works as a data source or data base. Here around 7 765 data connectors. Through there, data comes into the Dataverse. Now these data can be analyzed to the Power BI analytics system, as well as we can even this Power BI operation we can automate. I'll show where this automation works in Power BI. As well as we can, after developing this report, we need to share this report. Here this Power Apps will work. Once the Power App is made for the internal use, we can do, as well as for the external purpose, we can do this Power Pages as a website development. Now, when the front end development is done, this Power Virtual Agent will work and again the data will come through this Power Virtual Agent and as well as Power Pages. So data will come here in this database. So it's a full integrated system. Now, data connectivity in Power Platform, that is very important because here the database is there. The name is the call generally Common Data Service for Apps. Is it mandatory that we will use this Common Data Service for Apps? No, it is not mandatory. But we can create our own this is basically environment. We can set our own environment also, and I'll show that. And this environment needs data connector because sometimes we are using Excel, sometimes we are using that SPSS, sometimes we are using that CSV, sometimes you are using SQL, sometimes we are using some different data formats that JPG format, PDF format, Word document format. So from everywhere, this data can be pulled here and these data can be analyzed here. That can be end-to-end process can be done, as well as Microsoft 365, Dynamic 365, and sometimes data is on-premise or sometimes the data is on cloud format. So that can also be processed through Microsoft Azure to connect into this data system and do all the operations one by one. So to understand the Microsoft Power BI platform at the very beginning, here the base topic of discussion will be, in the first section we'll do what is the Power BI basically, and then we will do how the charts and being like these are the examples of charts. So we did this kind of charts. So these things need to understand that how these things are forming. So we will understand the charts, and in section 3 we'll understand Power Query. Now, what is this Power Query? Will definitely come into this topic. This is not basically these are simple symbol means these are terms. Don't get stuck into these terms. These are basically Excel kind of work, and even the better than the Excel kind of work. So don't worry, I'll guide you. And this is the SQL, but again, don't get afraid with these SQL terms. In Power BI, we require SQL concept very little, but the basic understanding if we have, then we can work in Power BI. And in Power BI, we need a special kind of language also that is called the DAX language. That is a data analysis language to prepare all these things. So all these things we'll discuss. Let's start one by one. What is already I have discussed so many things about Power BI, so we are not explaining all this repeatedly. And we have the time constraint also. So sometime we'll do and some hands-on practice and do the some skipping also with your permission because of the time constraint. And So let's start the Power BI desktop. This is the user interface, how this user interface looks like. Here in the real format. This is the Power BI desktop format looks. Okay. So, and now the question is, as an organization representative, you are interested to know in which particular sector or particular segment you can apply this Power BI. So here some points given, like in case of inventory or stock analysis, we can use Power BI. In case of vendor or supplier quality analysis, we can use Power BI. Invoice and payment management analysis, production QA and QC analysis, we can do. Let's this introduction give some give some example to show you better understanding. Okay, so see, we are coming this production quality and quality analyst and quality control analysis. How this works, let's see. This is one demo example. Here in a factory that they have some multiple factories. So in factory 1Y, say QC and QA defect trend they are trying to find out. So weekly basis, this data identified. Similarly, in production process, they have some line-wise production system. So they want to understand that in which particular QA or QC this problem is actually occurring. Based on that, these kind of deep down they have done, and as well as the more further deep down can be done. So this is one example which we can do. Similarly, in case of supply chain, we can do the process. We can do in case of supply chain. Let's see, supply chain is there or not. Yes, this is the demo purpose that in case of supply chain, we can do analysis like this, where the sales, profit, orders, returns, and all these things which can be done. So electric power consumption analysis, restaurant business analysis, hotel or tour booking and cancellation analysis, retail business analysis, marketing and sales analysis, e-commerce orders and cancellation analysis, email or social media campaign KPI analysis. KPI is for key performance indicator analysis, real estate property, construction management, project management, employees or HR management. I think one slide we have seen related to HR. Yes, is for HR analytics. Here the number of people join, a number of people leave the system. These are data we can identify. So similarly, project management, employer HR management, health and healthcare analysis, pharmaceutical business analysis, hospitality management, banking and credit risk analysis, corporate insurance needs analysis, and any claim analysis, personal finance analysis, portfolio performance analysis can be done with this Power BI system. Now, in Power BI, what actually you can do, the things are like data analysis and report writing, develop interactive dashboard, the way I have shown already the dashboard. Why it's called interactive? Let's see. Why it's called interactive? If I click on this section, entire data set will be refreshed. See? That's why it's called interactive. If I click here, data got refreshed. That's why it's called interactive. Got it? So hope the session is useful for you people. Okay, so here develop interactive dashboard, the data security and report access control. This is the most vital thing in an organization. Because if I do, sorry, if we do the report formation in Excel, and if we want to send it to the frontline employees, then only option is that we have to send the data file along with the report file. If any temperament is done in that data file, that entire security gone. But in case of Power BI, we don't have to send the data. We can only send the report only. And not only that, we can control the report, which segment of employees should get what kind of report, that can be controlled. And it can be connected to 100+ data sources. Dashboard accessibility from anywhere in cloud format will do. Automation and real-time report monitoring, I'll do. Why this automation and real-time report monitoring thing? Means in case of Excel, if we want to do this update in report, we have to bring that report and we have to do some additional upgradation, and then again we have to distribute it. But in case of Power BI, we don't have to do that much of hard work. Just a single button click, we can refresh the result and automatically the end user will get it at a fraction of time. Fast decision making, enhance productivity and ROI. So these reports already been, I've discussed is a Udemy report, how this entire Udemy business performance got. Here the courses taken by the students in the sales amount. Here the content duration hours. Here the subscriber. These are the, we can say these are the key performance indicators. So this is related to revenue and budget. Anything in any purpose we can apply. So some people have the may have the query that instead of doing learning at so many things, it's better to use Excel. Sorry, in Excel we can have only 1 million rows can be analyzed at a time. But in Power BI, up to 100 terabytes of data can be analyzed in Pro license. Can access data from 100+ data sources, but in Excel only CSV and Excel format will support it. Highly secure data and complete control on accessibility of data of accessibility of dashboard report. Data export to everyone and report also. Report can be updated and distributed instantly, but in Excel it is not possible. And report available in desktop as well as in web app form also. No such facility is available in Excel. Now, the most important thing is in business, we generally use ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, for our day-to-day business operation. Some of the organization uses SAP also. They may have the question, since we are using this SAP, do we require this Power BI? Yes, we require. Why? This that ERP or SAP provides an operational view of business process, allowing user to get a comprehensive view of each of the functional areas. But in BI, we can analyze the process where the matrices, this performance matrices is actually taking place, and where these issues arising and how the issues can be amended to make the process optimized. For this purpose, in Power BI, we have a system called SAP BW connector. If we connect this Power BI to SAP through this connector, we can pull data from that SAP into Power BI and we do the analysis. Okay. So now the most important thing is the component of Power BI. There are three major components. That is Power Query, that is used for ETL process, that extract, transform, and load data. Power Pivot for data modeling and data relationships, analyze data. Power View, create dashboard, visualize data. Let's little further ahead. We were discussing this Power Query. This Power Query is basically this Power Query. This is for process cleaning and extract, transform, and loading purpose. Okay. For this is basically Excel kind of work, but still we have a language for this purpose. It's called M language. And this Power Pivot, this is for basically this section E for SQL purpose. Okay. And this SQL purpose and this DAX purpose altogether comes into this Power Pivot section for data modeling and data relationship. Okay. And this Power View just to create the report or dashboard. These three things. These are Power Query. Here, these are Excel kind of work we do through M language or direct operation. Here, this is that SQL kind of work we do in this section, as well as DAX function we apply. And this section we use for Power View to create such report. See, this tab is active, means we have developed report in this tab only. Now, for Power View to create dashboard, visualize data. Now here, the overall architecture of Power BI, how this entire thing works. This is the backend data. We pull data from various databases or data sources into the Power Query section. We apply DAX as well SQL concept in this model. That's a Power Pivot section. And then we create report. And after creating this report, we publish it into Power BI service. This is the interface of Power BI desktop. Similarly, we will have a Power BI service also. We'll come later little. This is the Power Query. So now this is our report view. This is our table view where this entire data comes and looks. Since no data is there, that's why it's showing blank. And here is the Power Model view. various kind of model it shows. Okay. So, and this segment is for various charts. So how these charts looks like, let's see. See, this is called stacked bar chart. Looks like this horizontal. This is waterfall chart. This is pie chart. This is map. This is stacked column chart. This is a cluster bar chart. This is the funnel chart. This is the ribbon chart. This is the donut chart. Specialty is if we click any of the color part, data will refresh based on these things. Already I have shown you in this session. So this is the beauty of these charts. There's a field map and this is the cards. Cards mean showing multiple numbers. Numbers like these are the numbers we are showing here. These are the numbers. We have made this through cards. So now multi-card also there, the slicer also there. Slicer means, say, we have cells in different months or different years. If we want to select a particular segment of the month only, then entire data will refresh based on that month or that year only. Okay, for that purpose, we use this slicer. So in Power BI, we have these options like if we move the cursor, just go to that part. If we move on to this part, it is a stacked bar chart. This is showing the cluster bar chart, cluster column chart. This is the cluster bar chart. This is the cluster column chart. This is the 100% stack bar chart. This is the 100% stack column chart. This is the ribbon chart. This is the waterfall chart. This is the funnel chart. This is the scatter chart. This is the pie chart. This is the donut chart. Multi-card road tree map. This is a map. This is a field map. So Azure map. This is the gauge. This is the card. This is the multi-row card. This is the KPI. This is the slicer. All this is the table. This is the metrics. Anything. Even we can use the R as well as the Python also. Even we have these Power Apps for Power BI as well as this metrics. Okay. So all these things are there. For our use. So let's do one practical to create such things in Power BI. Now to do the practical work, we need data. Now, so to get data, we can click here, we can click here, or we can click any of the part. This entire thing is for data to pull. This entire thing up to this part 1, 2, 3, 4, the SQL Server, all this for to data pull. And this is for the this is to pull data from Dataverse. This is the section where we can enter data manually. Once the data is entered or taken from different sources, we can transform those data into this section. Now this is the for new visual. to create, how to create new visual. This is for text box. This is for other visual purpose. Here, the most important thing is, if we click on this insert button, then same text box, buttons. See, this, so many button types are given, so many shape types are given, and in this section, image upload option also given. Okay. So first pool data, but instead of asking all these sources for data, we'll come here. We'll click in this section to get data. Now here it will show us something. See, already these are the data sources we can connect data. But if we click get, then we can see Excel workbook, text or CSV, XML, JSON, folder, PDF, Parquet, SharePoint, SQL Server database, Access database. It can connect so many slots. In file section, if we go, then these are the options. In database section, we have these are the options. Here, I was telling that SAP, business, SAP, business, warehouse, application server, we have that SAP business warehouse message server is also available to pull data. We can connect MySQL database also. We can connect PostgreSQL database also, and many other Oracle database also. Its list is endless. Microsoft Fabric, these are the sources. In Power Platform, these are the sources. We can connect data. In Azure, we can connect Azure SQL database, Azure Synapse Analytics, SQL, and many other sources are given. In online services. We have these things. Even the others, we have these sources. So let's start with this Excel file in our case. So let's connect it. It will ask for the data to connect. Go to the download section. Here we have this data. Pull. Let's pull it. Now here, before we pull the data, let's check. Here already the last row is 8,450 rows are there in our entire data system. See, we have thousands of data set. In actual business operation, we may have millions of rows and millions and hundreds of columns to handle the data. And most important thing is in this data set, see, it was for item fat content. This data set is basically, let's talk about the data set only first. This is basically an online grocery shop related data. So for the sake of privacy, we are not taking the name of the company, but we have the company has the outlet across the country, and many times we some of us order various kind of food products from those from these outlets. So it's the data related to this company, and here the items are like see, it is the item fat content, item identifier, item type, outlet establishment year, outlet identifier, outlet location type, outlet size, outlet type, outlet visibility, that item visibility, and item weight, cells. Here in item fat content, it is sometimes regular, low fat, or sometimes it's a LF. Instead of low fat, data got some error, it become, due to the transaction process, it become LF. So it is the discrepancy in the data, and we have to modify it, and we'll do this. And that is the part of data cleaning or data extraction loading part, that ETL process. We will do this in Power Query section. Okay, so let's see, come here. So we are pulling this data. Now, once I clicked here, it started showing the same thing, which we have seen just few seconds before. This is the entire sets of data. Now, here, two buttons active. One is load, another is transform data. If we click on load, what will happen? And if we click on transform data, what will happen? Let's see. If we click on load, data will come just in this data section. If we click here, we'll be able to see this data set. But if we click on this transform data set, then it will not come here. It will come directly to this section, like transform data section. If we click here, transform data section, data will come directly here. Let's see if it is actually happening or not. So again, go to the data set. It is showing that the file, not that every time we can go from there, we can click here also, this Excel book also, just to show that these things I was showing you. Then okay. Say, let's directly click on the transform data. Data came here, and we are seeing this entire data set. And one more important thing in this data set, just at the very beginning of the session, as the our respected faculty that Gautam sir was saying, that data has some different types. In this Excel sheet, is it anything mentioned? No. None of the data set is mentioned what kind of data format is this. But Power BI is very intelligent. It detected that this is ABC sum written, means it is character kind of or text kind of data. It is text kind of data. It is text kind of data, but it is a number kind of data. That's why it is written 1, 2, 3 kind of things. This is the very important feature of this Power BI. And another most important thing is here in this right-hand section, some write-ups are coming. Source, navigation, promoted headers, change text. What are these? These are basically whatever operation will do in this segment in Power Query, it will record each and every step, so that any new person came and try to understand what happened to the data can easily identify. All are recorded here. Nothing will be changed until we delete it. And once delete, the entire system will be in a new format. So let's do some modification in the data. Here, already it was 8,458 hours. So if it, instead of this 8,000, if it was 1 million or more, then how can we search how many problem, where are the actual problem are there? So for this purpose, we'll click here and see discrepancies. Some are there low fat are written, some are LOW low fat written, LF written. So we can easily understand that these are the fields we have to make rectify in a to maintain a uniformity. So let's do, we'll keep this as a uniformity. Okay, so let's now to do these. Just a minute. Okay, after doing this right click, what we got? That replace values. We'll click here. So what we want to actually replace, that LF, low fat, we want to change into that L, low fat. Okay. So in all section, this low fat will be changed now. Got it? And once operation done, it is being recorded here. So there are other discrepancies also. So let's do that. Replace values. That was low fat. Low fat. Sorry. Sorry. Low fat. It will also be defined. See if any discrepancy is there or not, still left out. At least low fat problem solved. Now this regular became reg, so make it correct. Reg, come. And become now regular. Correct it. So all modification done in this first column. Okay. So After doing this, how will I understand the column health? Let's move on to view section. Check the column quality. Now see, the validity is 100%, error 0%, empty 0%. All section came except in this column, right? So this is basically a big concern for an organization for this kind of data. So if anything can be done for the organization purpose, they have to do this. They have to rectify this data. But in our case, we are not going to use this particular data or column in any purpose. So we are not very much concerned about this. So that's why we are just keeping as it is. So just coming out. So now, after doing all these things, come to this home section. Earlier we were in transform section. Now we are in home section. After doing all these things, if we don't do this close and apply, actually instead of this, all the operations been done, it will now show in this section. In the data. Hope data pooling concept is clear to everyone. Now we can show some chart making. Let's create this chart. Now this particular chart require x-axis and y-axis. Say in x-axis we are taking fat content type. Fat content type in x-axis and say cells in, okay, just a minute. This is the low fat and regularity. Got it? We can enlarge the data this way, or we can revert back. And in this case, this is the visual build visual things. Okay, now say in x-axis format, if we go and see the values section, these values came bigger size for the better visibility. Okay. And even if we want to add that here, so the data values, so we can do this through these data levels. If we want to increase the size of the data levels, then data section, move on. Here, if we increase the size will increase. Okay. Similarly, if you want to see the title here. See, the title can be visible. Title size we can increase. So wherever we have requirement, we can modify based on our requirements. Even this length and width we can adjust based on the heights and widths. We can adjust the position also. We can adjust the padding also. These all comes under properties. We can adjust this title also. This title, see, this will increase like this. We can change the color also. Many things can be done, but in this short session, as much possible, I'm trying. Effects. In visual, say we want to change the color of these bars also. That also can be done. Just a minute. In values. This bar position also can be changed, or the color can be changed. Sometimes it is taking time. Actually, these are the section comes under. Yeah. We can change the color of the bars also here from there. Okay. So hope the basic idea at least you got what to do with these graphs and figures. Similarly, we can frame the other tables and charts and other things. Okay. So because of the time constraint, we are just reading the content that we can create a table in Power BI, format a table and conditional table, changing aggregation in table, number formatting in table, subtotal and grand total we can form like this as shown in the picture. Similarly, the create matrix in Power BI, conditional formatting in matrix. Similarly, create hierarchy matrix in Power BI, conditional formatting in hierarchy matrix, number formatting in hierarchy matrix, subtotal and grand total. Okay. So number card. Let's check in number card. Now, section. Okay, move on to this number card. Click this card and say actually if we drag this here, it is showing total cell 1.19 million. Sum of cells. Got it? So in this case, only the field was this field. So sum of cells came. Okay. Similarly, text card, date card, multi-row card, filter or visual, filter on page, filter on all pages, drill through can be done. Slicer means a horizontal bar or vertical bar will come, where if you scroll the bar, data will refresh according to the movement of the bar. These are comes under slicer for text formatting. These are animated bar chart, means the bar chart would looks like this graphical movement, automatically it will start movementing. So these things can be definitely done, which are not possible in Excel, definitely. Insert image, text, shapes, already I've shown you. Similarly, if we want to introduce some wave URL, that can be done. That page navigation in one page to another page movement can also be done. Like, just let me show. See here, if we click all factories, so all factories, that will be one page. Factory 1 is another page, and factory 2, that will be another page. Means if we click on all factories, only all factory data will come. If we click on factory 1, so only factory 1 data will come. To build this facility or connection, we use these parameters, these features rather to say. This action page navigation. But nowadays, this action bookmark is less in use. Earlier, until this page navigation introduced by Power BI, this action bookmark was very useful. But nowadays, it is less useful. But we use it. Now, in Power Query section, already few things I have discussed that how to modify, how to rectify or extract or data, transform data, these things. So here are some functions are given. That's a text function. In text function, we'll find merge, split, trim, upper, lower, proper, add, suffix, all these things. Let's move here. That will be much more visible. If we move on to this section, because we have data, so okay, sorry. Move on to this section first and move to the transform data section. Now in transform data section, we'll see all these functions are given, which are data type, because this column is selected. That's why it's showing this data types, the text type. This is the merge queries. This is the, if any date format function is selected, then there will be date, this date button will be active there. Now it is showing, yeah, this date button will be active, where we can create another column, or we can go for this add section, select this column. If we click this date here, we can, all this inactive button will be active there at that time. If any column is there which is mentioned already data type, that's a date, then only from the date, say instead of giving this establishment here, if this was given say date of establishment, so say it is 2015, 1st January 2015 is the date. Now from that 1st January 2015 date, similarly other dates are also given. Now from that date column, we need only the year or the month. That can be done after selecting this column. If we, since it is not in date format, that's why it is showing inactive. If it was, then this button was active, and after once we click here, then automatically new column will be created which will show you the only the day, only the years. So similar functions are there, or such functions are there. Similarly, merge, split, trim. I think merge function is also there here. Where is that? This transform, it will be merge function is there somewhere else. So merge queries are there. So many functions are there. If we play with the system, then automatically you'll be able to understand what functions are there, how to use them. So similarly here, that quarter, month, date, difference between dates, earlier, latest, all these things can be identified. So why it is not moving? Okay. So add, subtract, divide, multiply, percentage, percent of or modulo, round off number, even, is odd or sign, that all these things can be done. Up to this, Power Query functions are there. Now, appending files means in Power Query section, where this here only one file we have considered. Only one file, let's say ABC grocery data. Instead of this only one file, say there were two files, then how to work with these two files? All these things can be done. So merge table sheet in Power Query, merge data from multiple Excel files, workbook in Power Query, merge data from different data sources in Power Query, or merge data having multiple match columns or multiple criteria in Power Query can be done. Similarly, other operations that fill down or filled up, grouping, transpose, unpivot, data types in Power Query, replace errors, values, and keep rows and remove rows, add, remove, and go to columns can be done. Now, M language, I was telling you that in Power here, this is Power Query section. Here, many things we have done, all are recorded. But in addition, one more thing is also recorded. This is the formula, and this comes under M function, M language. This M language written is in this format. Every time we do operation in this Power Query section, any kind of data transformation, it creates such function or format or formula. So these things comes under this M language. The M function, that's the date, M function, date, add and subtract, M function, date, that's the day, month, week, year, M function, text, basic, writing a small M code in PowerPoint, which already I've shown you. Okay, now come to the SQL section. That is, say these three tables are given, the customer table, product table, and the order table. Now, in customer table, we have some ID, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the name given and the state given. State somewhere Kerala, Goa, Kerala, Assam, UP. And similarly, other tables are also given. There's a product table and there's an order table. In product table, ID, category, price, description given. In order table, ID, category, price, and CID means customer table connection is given. In SQL, we call these ID columns as the primary keys for these individual tables. And for this last table, this is the foreign key for this primary key. Okay. So here, one simple query we have given just to understand what will happen and how these things are being applied into the Power BI in DAX function. Like find, here the one question is given, find ID name of customer from Kerala. So generally this is the code we generally give. That's a select ID, a name from customer table where state equals to Kerala. And the output will be this Ajay with ID 1 and this Kerala as ID 3. All these things will come. Now, many other complex combination can be done taking all these 3 tables or taking 2 tables. But for the simplicity or sake of simplicity to understand how this operation is taking place in Power Query in Power BI in DAX function, we have just given this. So here in SQL, this data definition language, that's a create, alter, drop, truncate, rename will be useful, as well as data manipulation languages, select statement we have used. And other things also, if we can learn, it's good. Otherwise, we can work with in Power BI. I'll come to this part. This is the little later. Now in DAX, what happens? In DAX, generally we write a formula. Like in Excel also we write a formula, but we don't take this formula as any variable. But here we take this as a variable, like sum of sales amount. These things works as a variable. And here, this is the formula, inbuilt formula we have. And this is the database name or the table name. And this is the table name. And this is the column name. Okay. With this information, the DAX will give us our result. Means this function formula or format looks like the SQL as a select. Here, the sum for this table for this column. More or less similar, that select statement kind of work is done here. That's why we study this SQL to understand this better. And not only that, here the connection between these two tables are being done. In Excel or in other data sources, many times we don't have that data connection built up, but we need to create that data connection. And that's why if we have this SQL concept, then it will be useful in DAX also in building that relationship. And we do that relationship in this section. Here, if any other table is there and we need to connect these two tables, then we can build up that connection. Where if any data pulled from here and in addition from here also, then the data will come. So if we have that concept, then it will be useful. in DAX, we have so many functions. The function of index, that's a aggregation function, date and time function, filter function, information function, financial function, logical function, math and string function, parent and child function, relationship function, statistical function, table manipulation function, text function, time intelligence function, calculate function, count function, DAX various patterns. Okay. So let's create a DAX code. Now, to create that DAX code, we'll actually we need a single measure value like the sum of sales. So sum of sales, say average sales, number of items, so number of items sold, and say, let's at least make. So for that purpose, we'll come here this new measure because we need a single value. So it's new measure. Let's give a name. Say total sales. Now total sales. Now after giving this, we need sum, the formula function. Say I'm just writing S. So many functions given. Here we'll definitely find our function, that is sum, right? We got it. Now instead of writing S, say if I'm writing A, then all the A related function will come here. Instead of writing B, A, we'll write B, D function, C, then C, then D, D. Whatever we write, all related functions will appear here. And here, so let's start with sum S. Now sum. Now in this case, the sum. Once we click the formula sum, at the top, it is showing, it is prompting us after the sum, what we actually need to write, column name. These are all, this is the data set and these are all the column names. So in place of total sales, so we should write it as a total sales. So let's write it total sales. So select it, total sales, then create this. That new measure comes here. So again, if we right click here, if we require additional or if don't require, then so okay, but we require, that's why we are clicking this new measure again. So it will be sorry, AVG, average sales. So average sales, let's write AV. So it came average sales. Now in average sales, again, we'll move on to the sales section. Sales. So once sales is over, click end to record our average sales. Say if we move on to a new measure, again, this is items sold. So items sold. So it will be now in place of item sold, what should we consider? Here, if we consider only if we count the number of rows, because all items are unique here, or we can say all transactions are unique here. So with that sense, we are just counting the rows. So instead of taking the function count, we'll consider count row. Count row. Now, in case of count rows, if we give the entire data set, then automatically it will count us. Count. Let's check. So item sold came, average sales, and yes, because we will develop that dashboard, so that's why we require. So we are calculating this. So average rating. Average rating will be average rating. So it will be the average rating. All done. So this part already you have understood. Now we will create dashboard for this purpose. But before that, we want to talk about this. Sometime to connect data, we can go to this data section. If we click on this data set and click on this SQL server, then it will prompt us connect option. If we give this the server configuration, this is server name dot the colon port number and the database name, it will pull data from the direct SQL server. But there is two options given. One is import and another is direct query. Now, in case of import, it will import the data into Power BI and will do the operation. But in case of direct query, it will not import data because Power BI also has some limitation that's up to 1 GB free space. That's why. So it will directly work on the server, and the risk is that if anything happens to the server, then entire data system will be hampered and entire production system will be hampered. So that's why we prefer this import option, or sometime we do we connect this data set, this SQL server to this SQL that MySQL workbench. We connect SQL server to the MySQL workbench and connect MySQL workbench to the Power BI so that to minimize the risk. and this works as an interface. And in case of cloud, as well as in case of on-premise, we do the same thing because we need a gateway in case of on-premise. So that's why we use MySQL Workbench as a connector in between. Okay, so let's make this dashboard. Now, before we start this dashboard, the company we have taken, ABC Company Online Grocery, business sales analysis we are doing. Now here the steps in the project is requirement gathering and business requirement. Because until and unless we understand what the actually data and what the organization is trying to, what is the business problem statement of the company and the related queries, then no objective will be fulfilled. So that's why this business requirement gathering is very important, the first step. And then the data walkthrough, and then the data connection, data cleaning, quality checks, data modeling, data processing, DAX calculation, layout, dashboard layouting, chart development and formatting, dashboard or report development, and insight generation. As of now, we haven't done this requirement gathering, but data we walk through, we have already done. We have understood what the data. I have shown you the Excel file where this data is there, what the fields are, all these things I have shown. Data connection already have discussed. Data cleaning we have done. The quality checks we have done. Data modeling. Since only one file page is there, so this part is not being able to complete here. If multiple data sets are there, then we can definitely connect the relationship and do that. But in SQL, we have tried to show this to understand what the actual process is this. So now the data processing and DAX calculation, these things also we have understood. Now coming to the dashboard layouting. And how the dashboard layouting and the format, we have already given a glimpse of the dashboard, what we are actually trying to figure out. Now first come to this requirement gathering. To conduct a comprehensive analysis of ABC company's sales performance, customer satisfaction and inventory distribution to identify key insights and opportunity for optimization using various KPIs and visualization in Power BI. Here the KPIs are very important. In our case, we have taken the KPI as total sales, average sales, number of items, and average ratings. That's why we were measuring all these parameters there. So after that, business requirements along with chart requirements. What? Here the total sales by fat count that we want to find out. Objective is to analyze the impact of the fat content on total sales. Additional KPI metrics, that is assess how other KPIs, that's average sales, number of items, average ratings, vary with fat content. These things we need to figure out. Chart type, that will be donut chart. Total sales by item type. Objective, identify the performance of different items type in terms of total sales. Additional KPI metrics, assess how other KPIs, that is average sales, number of items, average ratings, vary with fat content. Chart type, that's a bar chart. Fat content by outlet for total sales. Objective, that is a compare total sales across different outlet segments by fat content. And this is the chart type would be the stack bar chart. Total sales by outlet establishment, that is objective. The evaluate how the age or the type of outlet establishment influence the total sales. Chart type, that's a line chart. Sales by outlet size. Analyze the correlation between outlet size and total sales. Chart will be the donut or pie chart. Sales by outlet location. Assess the geographic distribution of across different location. Chart will be the funnel type. And all matrices by outlet type, that will be the objective to provide a comprehensive view of all key matrices based on the total sales, number of items, and average ratings. And that chart type will be the matrix card. I hope if any organization does this up to this level, then the Power BI work 50% done. Here, these are the KPI metrics, KPI data, fat content, fed by outlet, total sell by item types. Total sales by item type, sales by outlet year, and total sales by outlet size. So many other things can be done, but for the sake of simplicity, we have taken this only. So let's do this. We will not take much time to figure out these things, or you can say the for the purpose of beautification, we'll just try to understand that how things can be done. Here, this entire thing is called the canvas size. So we can first set up the canvas. So for that, in the section of visual builder, there is a section called format page. So page information here, the canvas setting. This is the ratio given. We will set it custom. And here we can set 800, 840. And this width we can take say 1400. Okay, so this become my customer. If we want to change any background, then background option is there. If we want the page information to update, since it's a page now one, that's why page one. If we want to make it as a demo or some other name, it will be say ABC company, ABC online grocery. Online grocery. So name change. Okay. This thing can be done. Now here we'll create a, we'll move into the insert section and we will take the shape. This is a round shape. Now first we'll rotate it. Rotate in which direction? Say 90-degree direction, we'll rotate it. So it rotates. Now style, we will make it the color. Say, since I know, that's why I'm writing this color code. So FFD 200. That's why the color came. And shape size button. Okay. Then style shape. Sure. Here the properties. In this property section, we can take, say, 850 in height, and it will be this. Okay. Now in this card section, so in this card section, we'll pull data. Just a minute. Now here, we'll put the sales data. Just a minute. We have selected the cards. Okay. Now in this card, we'll put the data. It happens sometimes. That's why it takes time in development. Yeah, okay. It's showing y-axis. Sure. Let's take average rating. Yeah. Okay, it's average sales. Okay, now another card. Sales data has some problem. So if we have some issue, identify what formula is written. Okay. Total sales value become wrong. Average sale, average rating. Oh, that column selection become wrong. That's why. That's oh, shit. Every time it is. Hmm. Okay, fill the card. Select this. Okay. Now, in this format section, we will have the property to shape it. Say we are taking this figure, say 160 by 245. 160 by 245. Okay. Now, but background. Sure. Background should be there, and background will take FFD 200. FFD to this. Okay. Now, that is that visual border. Yes, visual border will be there. And let's take it as color blue. And that will be shed. Okay. Now, effect page. Now come to this visuals. Let's make it a bold. Let's color, make it say blue, and any color you can select based on your choice. These levels, see these levels. Total cells, say we want to make it like this, and we want to make it like bold, and say color
will be like this. This is one segment. And for the same size, it will be 160, 160, and this will be 200 and whatever the size, 245. Okay. Let's 45. Okay, so here also we will make the property 160 by 245, 245. So this are done. Effect. Let's make the background the same color, that is FFD. FFD 200. Yes. And click done. Then it will be a visual border and the shadow. Now this visual border can be of, say, we are taking this blue color and shadow of this, say, of blue color. Okay. Now okay, and one more thing, these visuals that size should be bold and also this size we haven't increased earlier case, so make it as it is. Now here we can make the color, say, blue color, and this label color you can increase this average cells, make it similar kind of sake of understanding, and this color we can make. So we can take the other, that is total sales, total average sales we got, and now it is item sold. So it will be item sold, and now another, that will be average rating. This will be the average rating. And now this part, say 160. 160 to 45. Effect, background, D200, visual border will be available. This, say, we can take some blue color, then shadow will be there. That is also set in blue color. Many other different colors combinations can be done just for the simplicity doing this. Okay, now the visuals. Make it bold. Make it blue color. Give it to the say 22. Okay, so item sold, and the color is selling the blue. Now it's visible. Okay. Mm. Again, the property we will set to say 1060 to 45. Property set down. Background color will make it to B200. Yeah. Now the effects. This will be done. This will be done. Visual borders. Everywhere take in blue. Okay, for background purpose. Shadow also. Blue kind of shadow. Done. Now come to the visual part. Take it bold. Make it a this data level. Make it bold, and then it to level 22. And the color, make it blue. Okay, up to this part we have done. Clear? Little bit. Now we need sales by fat item. So that will be donut chart. The donut chart. Now in this case, we have two fields. One is so it will be say total sales. Just a minute. Total sales by fat content. Okay, so we got it. So again, move on to this section. So first make it a size will come later little. First make it an effect so that I can understand where the things are actually going. Okay. So for this purpose, let's make a go to the insert in shapes. Make a shape like uh, shape like this. Now under this shape, effect will shape time, make it white. But border will be there. Okay, border. Shift effect. Let's make an effect. And we want to give a border and a shade. Okay. Only the shade will not work here. So only border effect will be wait. Now If we click this section, data is getting refreshed. If we click in this section, data is getting refreshed. Similarly, other things can also be done, but because of we have very less time left out, so that's why we are not moving into the further, but into in development section. We are trying to move into the next section of how to publish this. Let's publish. Here we can give the name of the organization, like all these things. So let's publish this report. But before we publish it, we have to save it. Now, while saving the document, it is showing name with extension. Like in Excel, we have different extension. In Power BI, we have the extension that is .pvix. Say we are saving this, say A, B, C, O, and online. Say ABC online. abconline.pvx in this name. So once we done this, these things can be enlarged. Much more beautification can be done. Now, since modification done, so it should be saved. Okay, now come to this power publish button. Once publish button, you have to log in. Since here already I'm logged in under K2N Academy, so it is showing the workspace. So I'm selecting this workspace and it will be just before publishing it. Let's show something. Come here that okay, that Power BI login. Then it will show us Power BI login screen. Here we have already logged in under that CS. Dot submit. This is Power BI service. Now in this section, this is the home section. This is create section where we can create any report like we have already done in Power BI desktop, but it is easier to handle in desktop rather than in on Power BI service mode. Similarly, we have this workspace. Now under this workspace, only one demo, one file is there, and this, which is already, we can show this. The report, this report already published. Now, in this section, we are going to publish this new report. So let's publish.
because no other report is there. If it was there, it should reflect here. Only these two files are there. This is the only that Excel kind of file which we have as a data sheet. Okay, so nothing there. So let's publish it under my workspace. Let's do publish. Saved. It started publishing. Yes, success. So got it. Now move on to this Power BI section. Let's see if anything comes or not. So let's again publish. Select the workspace. It is showing that already one report is there. So do I want to replace it or not? So definitely it has a report. Let us to check where the report is there. Why it is not reflecting. In my workspace, it is two reports are there. In Power BI section, in workspace.
Sir, actually, this is the your account, and you have desktop version. You can work inquiry at the rate k2n.education. That's why you don't showing this.
No, no.
I think.
No, this is the this K2N Academy login account we have logged in.
And you have browser logged in. You also CS. I think.
No, that is the same account.
No, 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 no. You can click on the right side of right corner.
It is showing
Yeah, there
C2N.
is the CS at the rate k2n.education.
The same account. And this account?
Inquiry at the rate k2n.education.
Oh, these two different.
Yes.
Okay. Then we should sign out here. That's why.
You can sign out with browse also. I think.
Okay. That's why. Sign out here. Then automatically it will ask me to sign in. That's why. Okay. Okay. CS.
use another account. That is cs dot cs at the k2n cs dot education.
Yeah, click on sign in this app only.
Okay. Now if we publish, should reflect us. Okay. Now we started publishing. Let's check. It's got shows success. So now if we refresh this, already it is showing. Now this is the report. Earlier it was only one report, now it is two reports. Now, once this report came, if we want to share this report, we can share with any person we want. We can click the link, we copy the link, we can send it via the mail, we can send the via the Teams or the PowerPoints also. Okay, so now this was the, so this part complete. Now move on to taking time. Now come to the this Power BI section. We have already shown and discussed. This part is over. I hope clear to everyone. Now comes to, we can share this in the team also. Now come to the Power Apps. This is the portion we use to create custom apps, leveraging many of the features of Microsoft 365 and other platforms. Kind of value we can get, we can create business apps at high speed and low cost. And one very important thing is that related to this Power BI, the main purpose not only to develop these things, but also if near future additional data comes, then what will happen? Should we develop this repeatedly? No. Here is the option. Say I'm taking this demo data. It's the same data. I have copied it just in a different format. That's why it is showing. Now, at this level, up to 850 data, it was 8,450 data till we have seen. Now, from this data, we are copying here. and this file. Is already open. So bottom line. Now so in our data file, new data came. So what to do with this new data? Should I do the entire process again? No, a single button click is sufficient to update it. And that is this refresh button. Let's click it. Data got refreshed. And we can publish this. Again into the Power BI service. Started. One report is there. Now, because of this new update, is there any impact? Let's see the impact. It will show us the impact. Repeatedly asking the things. Will I give it? CS. Now, this is the impact. It is showing that for this data set, on this data, this is the data refresh, and because of this. So whatever changes you made from wherever is the source, it will record and update accordingly. Now let's check the new data. Is the report got updated in workspace? Okay, now replace this report. So it started replacing. So it got success. Now in this workspace, if we want. This is our Power BI services running. So just refresh it. So now these two data sets are showing the same results. 1.140.99 here also. 140.9. So these are very important aspects. This is true that in a small session, this is very difficult to cover the whole things, but we are trying. And not only Power Apps, in Power Automates also, in this present section, we have done one automation, that is every time data comes,
and we have to refresh this button. Instead of doing engaging somebody for this purpose, we can, if we can automate this, yes, in Power Automates, we can do that. So let's do some, how can any organization uses Power Apps for workflow approval apps making, that sales information app making, employee onboarding app making, remote work app making, asset tracker app making, menu marketing automation app making, new clients or supplier app making, that appraisal system making, log visitors, as well as in particular in which segment they can use it, that inventory management segment, quality control inspection, product and scheduling, equipment maintenance, supply chain collaboration, field service operation. For these, what kind of app role will be there? That will be admin role, make with data access, make without full data access, shared app, contributors kind of access can get. Okay. Now, whenever we are talking about any application, that application should have some front end as well as back end database as well as server to connect the front end and back end. So we hire developers to do all these front end, back end, and we need to learn all these languages for this front end, back end, and the server connectivity. But in Microsoft Power Apps, we don't require all these things. Only one single statement of line of statement can develop app for you. How? Kind of app we can develop, that is a canvas or model app or portal kind of app we can develop. And Power App Studio is the app designer used for building canvas app. App designer for model driven app lets you to define the sitemap and add components to build a model driven app. Kind of job, that work role kind of app we can get, that's a Power App for admin, Power App for developer, and Power Apps and Dynamic 360 apps. Now, before developing the app, we need to develop or define some environment. Some environment is given as a free environment just to test, just to build, test, and perform application lifecycle management with Power Apps, Power Automate, and Microsoft Dataverse. Now, this environment, there is some default environment, and this environment has some criteria. That is, all license user have the environment maker role. Number two, you can't delete the default environment. You can't manually back up the default environment. Default environment is limited to 1 TB of storage capacity. Power Platform admin should consider remaining default environment as personal productivity to clearly call out intent of the environment, right? Here in admin section, if we go, we'll see there's a setting option. Now, if we click that setting, we will find this Power Apps new environment setting option. If we click this, this mark, this new section, then we will have this new environment setting option. Here we can give the details. Then we can select the type of, that is, we will definitely select this developer option. And then once that environment setting is done, we can move on to the app development section. But before going into this app development, one very important thing is to explain that after getting this login screen, we will find this Let's see this blank screen. Yes. Yes. This is the section. If we can start building apps, we can start directly from here. But we generally first set up the environment and set up the solution. That solution is the segment where we keep all the front-end files. And for the backend file, we have some table section. And this front end and this backend, that table section comes under data words, where this entire database is contained. So if we do the app creation from this blank app, we can do, but after the normal practice that we first create the solution segment, and then under this solution segment, we create the app. But if we do the create the app at the very first, this blank section, no issue, our entire details will be stored in that solution segment. Because here in solution segment, we have option to personalize the entire data store in that particular solution segment. Once we do this preference, then automatically our entire work will stored in this section of solution. Like here, this instead of taking this default solution or common data service default solution, or we can take our own solution segment to create the app. Now, once that portion is done, here this no new solution how to create. We're showing here. These are the details we need to give, and this prefix is must. This prefix is just to make the publisher. Here we'll see while creating this solution, that is called the new publisher option or default publisher we can take. For the sake of to avoid the complexity or the duplicate or the same app with the different name, or different app with the same name naming conflict, to remove, we create new publisher, and under that new publisher we create the new solution. So if we click this new solution button, it will show us to fill up all this segment along with this prefix. Once we give the prefix, and this will be underscore object only. Until we give this prefix, it will be blank. Once we give this any number, any alphabet, anything, based on this, it will show us this here, like it is given RD, that's why it's showing RD underscore object. We can give name according to your choice. Okay. Now, after that, after creating this, we will have this Power App solution segment. Here, existing app we can see, or we can create our new one. This is the data verse where entire data set is stored, and this is used definitely for the security purpose. All the logic related to the data and the calculation is stored here, and definitely storage capacities gives, and that whole lot of integration is done in this segment. Now, once we comes in this solution segment, there will be a table section where we can create table for our application. So we can create application separate part, like table separately, front end separately, or we can create a complete app through a single line of application through this Copilot feature. Now we will also do this Copilot feature and do the Power Apps first. So here we have already created some solution. So let's create an app with this Copilot feature. Here also Copilot feature is available. If we go here or in the next segments also, we can see this Copilot feature will come here just to create the app. But let's do this from here. Let's go. No, it is something else. Say we are going to build an app for employee management app. That is, make an employee and management app. Just click this. It is working to create app for us along with front end and the back end. All it is creating. Here it is given some fields where we can keep the field as it is or we can remove the field. If we want to add some field, we'll give prompt here. If we want to remove some field, we'll give some prompt here. Anything if we give, it will work like this. Any simple statement will work. Like if we want to remove this, let's remove remove this. If you want to add, it will add. So now let's create the app. It is given the table. Create in my own environment. It will prompt us. Since it is the environment we have set up earlier, that's what it is showing. If it is not, it will automatically come into the common data service section. So the Copilot is developing app, front end as well as back end, and it is a Canvas app. Sometimes it takes time. Okay, so we got it. Our app is ready. And so with some other modification, we can give this to our employees for filling up the data, or we can add other data on any kind of things we can do. Even we can add some other tables also. If we go here, we can do this with the help of Copilot, or we can use our own separate Excel file to create, or if we can modify the properties of these fields, anything we can do. Okay. So this way we can
do this kind of modification and can get useful apps for our organization. And same way, the report we have created, we can share this report, share button will be there, like, and we can share with this embedded file into our app also. And here we can, if we give that link, automatically it will be displayed in this Power App section. This is a demo purpose it is given. And in Power Automate is something that we do our day-to-day work where some repetition is required. And many times in a day, the same job is being performed. So instead of doing this manually, we can take the help of this Power Automate and can convert it into the power that we can take the same work with the Power Automate service. Like in Power BI, every time data comes, we need to refresh it. If we do this through Power Automate, then we don't have to refresh that button again and again. So this is the Power Automate used for reasons. These are all the application where Power Automate can be applied. That's email, that's data storing, that is for the SQL, cron job, and everywhere. Instant reporting to high priority notification or email capture, track and follow up with new sales leads, copy all email attachment to the OneDrive for business account, collect data about your business and share the information with your team, automate approval workflows. Many things can be done. Features of Power Automate, that is automating manual work through AI-powered Microsoft Robotic Process Automate, that is RPA publication capabilities in Power Automate, automating workflow management across APIs and SaaS providers, UI-based recording on Windows desktop and report creation, easy automate script with UI flows across multiple environment, data integration through 299 existing built-in connectors, pre-built template, analyze and improve business process. This is the screen. After logging to the Power Apps, we'll find where this home section, action item, approval, business process flows, can create new process, the data, that's a connector, all are given. AI builders are all given. Here that around, see it is written, see all 299 connectors is given. So we can automate process here. Because of the times constraint, we are not automating any process at this moment, but we can do. And now the cost optimization that Power Platform gives for business value or cost optimization. That's a 4R for cost optimization strategy with Power BI. That is a reduce, replace, rethink, and reinvest. So these are the main dimension. Based on these, an organization should implement Power Platform, considering all these parameters for the organization. But the fact is a typically low code adoption journey we can see in this graph, where in some organization, there's a business cases where the get start KPI measurement, they got slowly, initially got high, then got slow. These are kind of change management when happened. These scenarios can be, we can see that it has happened in low code adoption journey for the organization in the past few years. Somewhere ready, somewhere set, somewhere go, somewhere is boosting. Okay, but at present time, what
any particular organization will take decision. They have to go through their own process, and based on they can take the decision what to next. But few things need to be considered. That is the scope, the data, the degree of or the rate of increase of data, the total cost of ownership, and the increased innovation, faster time to market. Based on these parameters, organization should take the decision what to do. But few things need to clarify, that is to invest or not to invest, the rise of low code or no code, the demand for low LCAP technology is growing. Currently, the marketplace is growing at a rate of 31.6%, expected to reach a value of 94.75 billion by 2028. The rise in adoption highlights a potentially uncomfortable fact. If your company doesn't invest in low code technology, your competitor will. What do you stand to gain from tapping into the power of Power Apps? A recent study by Forrester found that Microsoft Power Apps users experience more than 188% ROI increase in 3 to 4 years, reduced development cost by 74%, and saw an average of 3.2 hours per week in employee productivity gains while working on the platform. Can we use Power Platform free? Yes, in some cases it is free, but after that we have to take the license to move on to the practical purpose. The challenges of implementing the Power Platform in an organization. Some don't think that the low code is just for the expert. Some don't think that the low code is simple and can be used only for basic projects. Don't think that the Power Platform is just an app. It is so much more than that. Can help your business to achieve better governance. Microsoft Power Platform is already in use across your business. So it can be used in your, we can think of using this Power Platform in an organization, keeping all these parameters and direction thinking. Now, if we have already crossed 5, the session was supposed to end at 5. But if we have any question Q&A session, we can move. But what this organization can support you through corporate training, that K2N Academy can give the corporate training related to these platforms, internship through the Philanthropic Technical Association, and end-to-end project deployment in Power Platform or Tableau, data integration and data migration on-premise and cloud IT infrastructure setup or 5G category research lab setup. Presently, this organization can support your organization in this 5 or 6 form of support can provide. And in addition, if any question and answer session we want to conduct, we are ready for that. If you have, please go ahead. Do we have any question answer?
Just one point. Is there any capability in Power BI to form the unstructured data to a structured data? Means what the connectivity will use for development, whether it is the Excel file or the SAP database, HANA or any other SQL database, that is okay. All are relational database and we have a good form of structured data. But
Mhm.
suppose I have some two sets of data. One is coming from my ERP, SAP, one is coming from my Excel, and a third one is coming for a different source. And for that, some transformation is needed. So that data may be some JSON data or maybe some other form of data, which I am not unable to convert to a structured data. So will Power BI help me in this point, or otherwise I have
Yes,
to do
yes,
how?
yes,
Please.
yes, that can be done because in Power BI, we can use Python. Through that Python script, we can extract these information, and from that unstructured data, the required fields can be extracted and can be presented in a result format.
Okay, so in the tool of Power BI, it is already available. This option or
Yes,
this menu
yes,
is
yes.
already
If we,
available. Okay,
if we,
okay.
if we go into this section, it is visible that this is the Python.
Can you
Yes,
please
it
do
is.
the introduction? Who is telling the question, please?
Sir, pardon, my name is Indronil Shaha. I am from Electrosteel Castings Limited, Kolkata.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, in this section, Python visual, we can create that portion. Okay.
Okay, Python visual. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Anything else?
Anybody who could like to do any questions, please?
Just one point, I have forwarded to issue that where I can map the Google Map
Mr.
in this.
Indranil?
Yes. Where I
Okay.
can map the Gmap, means Google Map or any other, means to my report. If suppose I need some location specific any data, some global data to access. So what is the menu, or so where I can drag it?
Yeah, it is a field map section. You can see that.
Okay.
In field map section, you can see that.
Okay, so if suppose some region specific data is available in my data set and I can map it to the corresponding Gmap, na? With the data, so that on the map, if I click on the cursor, it will show me the entire sales or entire means average sales. What it is there. Okay.
Exactly. Say across India, sales been done in various states and even in the various region also. So that thing can be done, and it will be in field map section. I think screen is visible.
Yes,
Screen is
visible.
shared. So in this section, you can see that some fields are already dark and some are light. So wherever the data is there, it will be displayed.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
I will like if anybody ask question, please. Okay, Mr. Biswajit.
Yeah, tell me.
I think question answer session is finished. So we can end up the session, I think. You see, everything is covered, right?
Yeah, everything is covered till net.
Okay. So so let's end up the program today. So it's an announcement that we will be providing a soft copy participation certificate to everybody who have participated. So it will be provided soon to all the participants who has participated, and just an announcement. So okay. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Indrajit.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Indrajit sir. Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you
thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
the line. Yeah.